And what we realize is like, as we've been empowering hundreds of thousands, even millions of users to become creators for the first time, to earn crypto, we onboarded 8 million users to Web3 with Sandbox. Really, Sandbox is a decentralized virtual world where people can create content, can own the asset that they create, but they can also own the currencies that support the world with the Sand token, and they can own the virtual real estate, which is like the digital space where those experiences and games are being played and published. And you have many ways to actually be part of the Sandbox. You need to expand Sandbox beyond what it is now. It shouldn't be seen just as a game platform. It should be seen as a digital nation where every participant is contributing in a way to the value. And that's why I think it's essential to really evolve the vision here, and that's what we're working on.
Hello everyone, my name is Sebastien Borget. I'm a co-founder of Sandbox. I'm 40 years old. I'm French. I'm born in the south of France. On the last year of those studies, I did an exchange program with the Chinese University of Hong Kong, which was for me like really a major milestone in my life. It's been like the first time I go so far, amazing time, great memories. Also opened my mind around like, I would say, traveling, exploring Asia in general. When I was at CUHK, actually my co-founder, Arthur Madrid, approached me there. As a student, I had one hobby. Actually, I've been always like a geek, early adopter, playing around all the new console and gadget on the first day they launched. I fall in love with video game with my first console, the Super Nintendo, with Super Mario World as a game. Was also like having some software. I learned how to develop and make my own application with Visual Basic and Delphi. Then I learned like programming and how to make a website as soon as I got internet at home. I stumbled upon like BitTorrent, not Bitcoin, BitTorrent first, and that was one of the very first application of peer-to-peer decentralized technology. I really got passionate about it. I started developing my own software, open source. And that led me to be contacted by my co-founder while I was in Hong Kong, because I was one of the leading open source developer, and his first startup was all about BitTorrent. Needed a way to deliver great quality video at the lowest cost to create like sustainable business models. And we provided a solution with peer-to-peer. So I was very excited. That was my first job, joined him when I got back to Paris as an intern, then became COO, and great synergy, great complementary skills. And then we started our first startup together called Wixie. It was a service where people could upload their photo, video, and music in the cloud and share them with their friends. Before, like, it was even called the cloud. Before there was Netflix, Spotify, etc. You could like basically put photos together into an album with your friends, or music and videos, and access it from anywhere, including mobile device. At that time, smartphone started to appear around 2010. And at that time, we had tens of thousands of subscribers paying $9.99 a month for like unlimited storage of their data. And that was a great business. Unfortunately, a lot of like content uploaded was not necessarily just like your holidays pictures, but also like pirated series and movies. So we sold the company for the technology. And then I found it was the right time to realize my childhood dream to make my own video game one day. Remember I told you like I'm a geek, early adopter. I love video games. I played every console and a lot of games back then. And I said, well, one day I'll make my own Super Mario or something like that. And I realized, looking at what's needed, what skills, what studies, it was very hard, not accessible. I actually, like, very few schools had like the courses, the curriculum to teach you how to make video games. And like joining a video game company, it's very hard. Like creating your own, it's even harder. Basically, like the cost of hardware, the number of people you have to hire, and the money you have to raise. Like not everyone starting a company for the first time will jump into that space back then. It was console gaming, premium games. That's the thing about that. And then as smartphone came in, the possibility to make your own apps or games as one person, two people from your garage, like the startup dream, like Bill Gates, Apple, all those stories we've been reading, was possible again. And I said, that's the time we have to jump into. And so we started our first mobile game company together. That was our third company. We focused on free-to-play games, a new business model. We worked and focused on games with IPs and character-driven. So we had license for IPs like Garfield, Snoopy, Adam's Family, Goosebumps, among others, and we're able to make decent, very, really good revenue from it. And there was one game that was driving most of that revenue, and that was our most popular success. It was the first version of Sandbox. Back then, in 2011, Sandbox was just a mobile game in 2D, where very simple idea. Like, not only we as a studio could make our own game, but we wanted everyone to be able to make their own game. So just by the touch of their finger on the screen of smartphone, which by then was like the innovation. Like, smartphone really made touch the new interface, and it made it so reactive, so smooth. It was like night and day with whatever was available on the fan device and reactive screens with the stylus back in the days. It was a very joyful experience, and allowing anyone to create content or create games and share it online, again, learning from user-generated content from our previous startup, was something that was not done anywhere. So that as we launched that game, it became a large success right from the beginning. We had the first month over 1 million downloads. Back then there were not a million of devices. There were maybe 10 million iPhones around the world. That was a great metric. And over the years, 40 million downloads, 70 million player-made creation. The game was live and updated. I think we made 60 updates over 8 years. Adding new content, new possibilities, and starting to collaborate with brands to integrate them inside this mobile game, so people could create content with their favorite characters. And one of the reasons of success was also because Minecraft was there, emerged, but there was no Minecraft on mobile by the end of the day. So we were kind of like the 2D Minecraft that everyone was playing with. One thing I realized as well, creating that sandbox and getting really close to the players who were creating content, is that even though people love creating out of passion, they were stopping creating after a while. After a few weeks, after a few months, or years, sometimes they were leaving the game. Even though they were featured, they built a great profile, a lot of followers and fans. And the main reason is basically there was no other incentive. We couldn't give them a payment or a portion of the revenue that they contributed by bringing their content into our game. As a user-generated content game, our success comes mostly from the content made by our users, not just ours. So I was looking at solution. I literally struggled. I had to find the nickname of the user, try to match it if they had by any chance a Twitter account or any social profile on the internet. But by any chance they left an email there to be contacted, contact them, hope they answer me, write a contract where I propose them to pay them some amount in exchange of their contribution, and then pay them by PayPal to send them the money electronically as a fast way of it. So many steps, couldn't scale, done manually. You could handle 100 artists, creators at that time, and that's it. So really got frustrated by the idea, we cannot reward and get more creators paid. It's just a problem. I didn't find a solution around that until around 2017. I stumbled upon blockchain technology and Bitcoin. At first, I was just interested about Bitcoin, the proof of work mechanism, how it works, and Bitcoin mining. So I learned about what's Bitcoin mining and so on. And then I discovered the first game, CryptoKitties. CryptoKitties was for me the revelation where I found wow, that technology, blockchain, Bitcoin is not just about, blockchain is not just about money as Bitcoin, but there's other application that can be done on blockchain. One of them has been NFTs. You could turn content into digital assets that players could actually use, buy and sell from each other. In the case of CryptoKitties, it was virtual cats that people were breeding and buying, not only from the developers, but from other players. That was an exciting feature because in video games you do not buy content from other players. That's just not possible, and sometimes not even allowed by the platform. You actually buy the content not in the game itself, but in the marketplace outside of the game, the sort of eBay of the NFTs. That was OpenSea. And that also was mind-blowing because traditionally a mobile game, the only content you can buy is within the game itself. Like that's a closed silo environment. And the third thing what was exciting is like you use cryptocurrency, Ethereum back then, to actually buy those assets. And the people, the players, the users, they receive their payment instantly between each other. And that was a big revelation moment for me where like say, wow, the technology solved all my problem. My content creator, if anything they create would be an NFT, they could actually sell it outside of the game. They could receive payment instantly without me in the middle. And I realized that that's the right time to rebuild Sandbox from the scratch, from the ground up, with that technology at the beginning. So we took the opportunity as well to look at, hey, by the way, like, is there anything else that we would like to solve? And we figure out, like, even though we started with 2D and it was popular, 10 years later, 2D and the retro aspect of pixel art is no longer appealing. Why is that? Because a lot of like the kids and teenagers that grew up after us, they were born with 3D directly, so they don't have like that nostalgia anymore of pixel art. It's a market that's shrinking over time. The second thing we missed was multiplayer. We found like multiplayer is the best feature that games can have to grow their network effect and acquire new users. Every time you like a game in multiplayer, you want to invite your friends to play with you into it. And Sandbox was a single player game by that time. So we started, and PC was a platform where actually like a lot of success was happening. Minecraft started on PC, Roblox growed on PC, Fortnite was a PC game first, so mobile was not necessarily the platform for top games to launch. So we rebuilt Sandbox, a new version, launched it around 2019, this time as a 3D multiplayer, PC and Mac first. Not just game, but platform with creation tools on one side, VoxEdit or 3D modeling, the game maker that's no code, and then the game client to play around. Around that time as well, something happened. We became part of the Animoca Brands group. In 2017, I was going to one of the gaming conferences. I met with Robbie Young, the CEO of Animoca Brand, and we were just catching up casually. I was like, what are we doing around? And we were saying like, look, it's interesting. We found about CryptoKitties and NFTs. I'm really interested to build a new version of Sandbox with NFT. And by then, Animoca Brands was not like the Web3 investor, largest investor that is known for today in Hong Kong. It was a mobile game publisher in Hong Kong focused on taking like Western game hits and poaching them in Asia, in Japan, in Korea, in China, which are like some of the largest mobile game market beyond the US. And at the same time, you have the brands, Animoca Brands. So in the name of the company, you could see that they were licensing IPs and brands to put them in mobile game. And when they told us, like, we are the publisher of CryptoKitties in China, we immediately understood, like, well, we're working on the same topic, there is synergies, we're going to be aligned together. So why don't we do that, join force? And that's what happened. So we became part of Animoca Brand in 2019. We raised actually a new round after spinning off Sandbox out of the mobile game studio, so he could attract investors. At that time, the first investors were like Square Enix, the leading game company from Japan, Hash, one of the leading crypto investors from Korea, True Global Venture, like a VC fund from Singapore, Animoca Brands from Hong Kong. So somehow what I didn't realize is like all our investors were Asia-based. And it appears that over time, like Asia will continue to play a very important role. Hong Kong will play an important role into like the success story of things evolving at Sandbox. I'm still living in Paris, I'm based in France, but I do travel a lot around the world. As the Sandbox blockchain version was launched, it kept evolving, and Asia represented more than 40% of our total market, user base, partners, and revenue contribution, which has been interesting. And because we saw that the market was so reactive and understanding what we've built around like user-generated content, gaming, crypto, of course, with our own token Sand, and virtual real estate, it's been exciting to see as well that sometimes you should just focus as an entrepreneur on like where you're already successful, rather than try to spend a lot of time to convince the market that don't necessarily understand you yet. We've seen an early interest for crypto in Europe, US as well, until like the previous administration totally clamped down on it. But it was so far compared to like the just mainstream adoption that Asia had. Like Korea typically is a country where 80% of people already have like a crypto account. They understand trading. It's quite a natural way. So I wouldn't say it's breeded into their DNA, but it's really cultural. The second thing we notice is like gaming is cultural in Asia. Like you have like elderly people in their 80s, sometimes more, that are already using mobile phone. They are using the gaming service, and they are playing with younger generation altogether. There's no differentiation. What we found in Europe is like past a certain age, like technology is always something that they are fearing. Like try to get your grandma or grandpa to play the latest mobile game. There will be so much resistance. There will be so much criticism around like, what is it? It's something stupid. It's a waste of time. There is no desire to discover anymore. Maybe for sometimes good reason, but most of the time we see that it's harder to get new technology adopted in our traditional markets. Whereas in Asia, technology is like cross-generational and got spread out very fast. And I think that that's been a greatest contributor as well to like the success of crypto generally, and it really helped Sandbox in our story. And Hong Kong continues to have like a very particular. We have this love story with Hong Kong. Invest HK has been a great supporter. We've been as well having a lot of like local partners. Hong Kong, among all the region of Asia, we had the greatest number of partners, landowners, landholders, community on the ground. Of course, probably Animoca brand being present here has helped a lot as well. And I think I'm here still today. I'm going to continue coming to Hong Kong with teams on the ground working on some of the new projects that Sandbox will be launching. I'm regularly traveling around the world, speaking at various conferences, but we're here at Beacon Asia Summit, happening in Hong Kong. There's somehow it's back again as like both like a financial hub for crypto and traditional finance, and a culture hub with a lot of like cultural events happening, such as Art Basel and a movie festival and other music festival as well, which for Sandbox is also again like something very valuable, as we are building not just a technological platform for creator, but a culture platform where like people create content that they imagine together with their favorite brand and celebrity that we brought on.